Hello, class. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories, starting with Paris Saint-Germain president Nasser El-Khelaifi, who have recently sent out warning over Barcelona's dangerous financial situation. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about Franck Kessié, as it has been reported that manager Xavi considers the bench Barca midfielder key to his project. We're also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. The general consensus ahead of the summer transfer window was that Barcelona were down and out due to their horrific financial situation. After all, the club was sunk in huge debt, and there seemed no fathomable way for them to recover in a matter of months. Yet, the summer window came and Barcelona pulled off some of the most astonishing transfers, from the signing of Robert Lewandowski to Franck Kessié and Andres Christensen to Rafinha. The Catalans found a way to make the impossible possible. Paris Saint-Germain president Nasser El-Khelaifi spoke at the ECA assembly earlier today, during which he gave his thoughts on Barcelona's miraculous financial revival. Needless to say, he did not have sweet words for Barca, as revealed by COPE. He said, "We have to be careful about dangerous levels of debts and about magically injecting capital. This is not a sustainable path to take. We have to think long term," he said. Ironically, it is his club that made news for splashing the cash in the transfer market in recent years. To this day, it remains a mystery as to how the Parisian giants were not sanctioned for financial fair play. Later in the proceedings, the PSG president also spoke about how the Champions League must adapt to fend off competition from a possible European Super League. He said, "We have to make more inclusion competitions that our income grows. That's what has happened in the English Premier League and the French League 1. We have grown by 150% in the United States. We have Paramount as partner. We must be innovative," he said. With the help of their recent signings, Barcelona have become a formidable force both domestically and also in Europe. Xavi's side have already picked up 16 of a possible 18 points in La Liga and put up promising display against Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena earlier this month. Barcelona have surprised everybody, to be honest, including us the fans, with a miraculous comeback by Joan Laporta, going to the market and buy some very, very good players despite the debt, despite Barca being like an outcast for most people, thinking that Barca can never, grow again as soon as they have done. And we shocked everybody. We really shocked everybody in the transfer window. And now here we see Paris Saint-Germain president Nasser El-Khelaifi saying it is dangerous, and whatever he says, I don't think it matters. But to be honest with you, I want to say I think PSG president Nasser El-Khelaifi should think about itself first before talking about Barca. Because it is really funny how his own club, Paris Saint-Germain, have been splashing money very carelessly all these past few years. They have been known for splashing money carelessly and claim how they are rich. And I think it is best for him to also look at his own situation before talking about Barca's situation, before issuing his own kind of warning to Barcelona. I don't see it as something that makes sense, right? Because his club had to be even sanctioned for financial fair play. Many people don't understand why up to this day, Paris Saint-Germain have never been investigated or spoken about when it comes to financial fair play, because they have astonishingly been spreading money carelessly in the market and paying players some kind of careless amount of money. Now look at Paris Saint-Germain paying Kylian Mbappe the kind of money they pay. Look at the kind of superstars they have. How much do they take? But Barcelona have not even yet, even 1/4 of what PSG is spending as wage bill. But La Liga want to kill us down because we have a lot of salary bills, whatever. But it's not fair. That's just the truth. It's not fair how things are not unified. This league have their own kind of system. Javier Tebas is having his own system, making La Liga a type. And I don't understand how things are. I think this league should be unified in the way they do things. If this is a limit of your wage bill, that should be it in all the other leagues. But Nasser El-Khelaifi talking about Barca should be careful, whereas his own club is far worse. Look at the kind of capital losses. Look at how what they have been planning for, going to win Champions League, buying Messi, bringing Neymar and everything. They have never succeeded in having the Champions League. And it's like also they are losing. They are losing. So I think Nasser El Khelafi is just trying to say what he needs to tell himself first. He needs to check his own self before pouring out his words to Barcelona, because that's the same position that he's facing. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, Frank Kessié was one of the first players to arrive at Barcelona in the summer. The Ivorian joined on a free transfer from AC Milan, but his acquisition was not quite well received by critics, who questioned the player's lack of technical prowess. Many argue that Kessié's style of play is not exactly suited to Barcelona's gameplay. However, more than a month into the new season, Kessié has started only twice for Barca this season, falling behind the likes of Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, Gavi in the pecking order. A recent report from Mundo Deportivo, though, suggests Xavi has not counted Kessié out of his setup just yet. In fact, the Barcelona coach considers the Ivorian as an integral part of his project and is seeking to get the best out of the player this season. Kessié, who was regarded as one of the best midfielders in the Serie A last season, has featured in 6 matches in all competitions so far. He notably started in a recent win over Elche but was hooked off at halftime due to an early yellow card. But despite his lack of game time, Kessié remains content in Barcelona. He respects the coach's decision and wants to continue to fight for his team in the first team. In the current scheme of things, Kessié is being considered a more physically robust alternative to the likes of Pedri and Gavi in the interior midfield roles. Although he can also operate as a number 6, his route to the first team has been blocked by De Jong and Busquets. However, all is not lost for Frank Kessié, with Busquets likely to leave the club in 2023 and De Jong facing an uncertain future at the club. The Ivorian may have a golden opportunity to make himself a first-team regular in the Barca setup next season. Hence, it will be imperative for the midfielder to maintain some form of consistency and remain a reliable first-team option for Xavi throughout the rest of the campaign. Frank Kessié arrived at Barcelona as a free agent in the summer transfer window that just passed. And of course, he's a very good midfielder. We saw his exploits at AC Milan last term, helping them out with big time to win the Scudetto for the first time in many years. And I think he's great and bringing something different to the Barca midfield. We have been used to with flares, technicality. That's Barca's kind of midfield for many years. That suits our philosophy. But come on, having some players like Frank Kessié in his stature, different, physically good, I think it's very important because there are some opponents that we might face in the Champions League, that Frank Kessié will be of great help. So I think football nowadays have really changed, and you don't just have to always stick to your philosophy, but sometimes try to alternate your game style, according to the opponent you face, and I think that's how it should be. So I think Frank Kessié has a lot to offer, and I'm also happy that the player, he's so happy with Xavi's decision. He understands and he's patient, knowing that one day he will win Xavi's heart. But right now, Frank Kessié have no problem being substituted all the time. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.